Hey everyone, it's Sly47 here. Last week's DD video went over so well. We're going to talk about some free light cruisers today. So once again, let's put our feet up, relax, and talk about some good free in this game and everything like that in World of Warships Blitz. So with light cruisers, my categorization is going to be anything less than 203mm and then has a citadel. Pretty much. There's of course not a light cruiser area in this one, but that's the oddball out with no citadel there. Actually, I think there's two. Actually, yeah, there's two. So I can keep this straight. Quick little note before we get started too much. Last video, I made two mistakes. One makes sense, one doesn't make sense. So let's talk about the one that doesn't make sense first. The gearing. I completely missed it. The entire line there is the most basic DDs in this game. They should almost all be lumped into overall. They're just good and solid, so that one makes sense. So have a drink for the missed homie. With that, yeah, have a nice cold drink on this nice hot summer day. And this room is probably already 90 degrees with my computer exporting right now. So let's talk about the one that makes a lot more sense that I miss is the Yu Yang. So I missed it. I did mention the Shenyang, but the Changmu and Yu Yang, those are actually surprisingly pretty decent ships. I'm not going to say they're great. A lot of people talk them up. A lot of people do. Red especially. I know there's a few other DD mains that go, yeah, they're great. My counter to them is, where the f are they? I don't remember the last time I saw one. I don't. I straight up don't. So I don't know, it's probably a niche ship. Maybe it's great, but yeah, whatever. Okay, sorry, let's get on to light cruisers, and let's actually talk about this, of course. Let me know your favorite light cruisers for each of these categories as well in the comments section down below. But let's jump into this. Let's start with the sniper section for people who really want to be able to absolutely pinpoint accurate, just annihilate ships. I'd choose the German Nuremberg and the Nevsky line. I just say the general thing because, of course, you have the Shores, you have the Bajoni, you have the Chappie, you have the Donskoy, and you have the Nevsky. Now, of course, the higher tiers kind of start bleeding in to that heavy cruiser area, but they still play more like light cruisers in ways. Yeah, no, these are snipers. These are great ships, especially the Nuremberg, a little bit of the Königsberg, but that's another category for me. But these are just excellent ships. They're incredibly accurate. Really, the Russian ships don't even need the precise aim, but you got it for those really nice long-range shots so you can land all that AP perfectly. Next up, let's talk about the torpedo boats for light cruiser. What is the best torpedo boat? Something that you're going to be sending off a lot of torps and trying to be as stealthy as possible. A lot of people last video were going, where Genon? Please tell us where it is. It's in this video, because in my opinion, it's like a 60-40 thing. I totally get where you're coming from. Totally get it. But to me, HMS cruisers play like 60% DD, 40% cruiser, where Genon plays more 60% cruiser, 40% DD. That type of thing, especially since you have those deep water torps, you got to be able to play the more cruiser aspect role of it, because you're not actually able to just go toe-to-toe like you can with the HMS minnow line there. But for torpedo boats, you have the Harbin, the Sejong, and the Genon right there. The Changmu is pretty good. It's kind of in that that awkward purity growth stage that Tier 7 is, especially even Tier 6 is too. So it's not bad. But overall, it's a fun grind. Overall, I'd highly suggest it on that. Fire breathers. I'm gonna play actually the gambit here and kind of give you all for 6, 7, and 8 here. So for 6, I'd go for the Lagostinere out of the French area. Excellent ship for fire starting. It's quite a surprise. I thoroughly enjoy that ship, and it's really easy to get at Tier 6, so it's not too bad. The Admiral Berlin also can kind of do it, but I think it's the Lagos is kind of in that perfect situation. The Eindhoven, I don't know how to pronounce it, but from the Dutch line, or Netherlands line, God, I can't do this right. The Netherlands line for that is basically a baby DZP. Absolute fantastic ship, absolutely great. And then you have the Chappie, which goes for the Nevsky line. That is a long-range fire breather. Perfect ship. It's free. You also can get the Halloween camo for it, which actually is pretty good for it for free generally around Halloween. So that's not a bad option, and you can look cool while you're doing it. let's go to Hybrid. Let's go to Hybrid. So what's a Hybrid? Is I feel like this ship line, basically, it plays in between all the way from heavy cruiser to DD. They're everywhere. They are everywhere, and they are clearly not a freaking DD. But I don't even want to say they're clearly even a cruiser. So I'm calling it a Hybrid. It's the Albing line. These things have hard, punchy AP guns with slow as molasses torps. There are ships that can outrun the torps. That's how slow they are. But the Albing line, it's a fun line. It's really good. But do not go in thinking that it's a DD. These are light cruiser hunters. These are not not what you think. So if you going on with the wrong idea, you're gonna have a bad day in that line. But the Albing line, absolutely fantastic. More of that light cruiser, not a DD type situation on there, which I know a few people might be going, DD Hunter, what's a great DD Hunter? Problem is, light cruisers are pretty much all supposed to be doing that. They're all supposed to be hunting DDs in one way or another. So for me, if I had to suggest anything, I'd probably go with the tier 5 or 6 Italian, the Trento, and I can't remember the other one. Those are actually pretty decent. You of course have the Königsberg and Nuremberg as well. I think those are just great for their tier, but else pretty much all light cruisers can do that job. You feel me? Yeah, okay. Perfect. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's see, what else did I do? Let's do not a cruiser. Let's do, yeah, we'll do that. We'll save that for those two for the last one. But the best not a cruiser, a lot of people were wondering, but where's Holland? It's a destroyer. No, it's not. Not in my opinion. I know people can agree to disagree, but in my opinion, when I play them, basically tier 7 and up are purely cruisers. They are. You are staying at max range, lobbing that HE, putting just insane amounts of firepower or fires and floods downrange, and you're playing a separate game. You're playing the repair game also while you're playing that. So these take a lot of strategy. They do. In order to make really good, hit those 100k games, you have to be, counting, oh, that person repaired, that person repaired, that person repaired. You need to make sure, okay, now that person gets set short, that person gets set. You get it doing a lot. The Holland line, especially the Oland's pretty good. I enjoyed this game. A lot of other people didn't, but overall this game, the Oland, the Oster, and the Holland, all fantastic ships. Highly would suggest them, but for not being a cruiser, I think that's one of the best lines for you. And such great AA, but they are great light support cruisers. And if you play them that way, they tend to do pretty well in battle, at least in my opinion. Next up, we have Escort. Well, I think everyone's gonna know when you say Escort. Okay, this is gonna be an Escort line. They are going to be sitting back, watching, and basically doing whatever they can to help the team win. And what is one ship in this game, or one ship line, that just straight up, no matter what game it is in, it's gonna help the team? It's the Worcester line. Oh yeah, you go Dallas, Brooklyn, Cleveland, Seattle, Worcester, and such. All of them. And like that. I didn't really enjoy the Dallas. I kind of got understood the Brooklyn. Cleveland is where, for me, just such a good ship and stuff. But we'll talk about the Cleveland in just a second too. But the Worcester, Seattle, for me, I find it wishy-washy. Some people like it, some people don't. But overall, these lines, they do everything in this game. And they do it pretty darn well. Add on top of it, they have great AA and great support skills. These are just perfect. These are great escort. You need to escort DDs? You can. You need to escort cruisers? You can. You want to escort your battleships? You can. They do it all. You want to island hop and just shoot over islands? Their suborbital arcs will do it for you. They will. They absolutely will. The Worcester line just does it all. Biggest problem pretty much is the suborbital arcs and the lighter armor on certain tiers, because in my opinion, you can brawl in the Cleveland and Worcester. You really can. They do an insane amount of damage with how much firepower they have. So don't get too close. Do not get too close with them. So now let's move to overall. So the best overall light cruisers in Blitz that are free, in my opinion, I have to kind of call out 3 specifically just because of their predominance in the meta, and then I'm going to go to specific ships and such like that. But overall, Genon, Minnow, Worcester. Just straight up, you have those 3, any team will take you if you're good at them. any team. Just, it's done. They are just fantastic to have on the team. They are meta, and in my opinion, because of the support or the firepower they bring into a game, they pretty much are never not wanted and such. Minnow and Genon are kind of in that area where they, it depends on if you want the high risk, high reward, but the Worcester is always wanted. So if you're wanting to have a very bland, basic ship that does everything and everyone wants you on your team, Worcester's right there. Now let's talk overall on this. Let's start at tier 4. Tier 4, it's got to go to the Svetlana. The Svetlana is an absolute insane ship. A crap load of guns. Absolute crap load of guns. And also, it basically prints torpedoes, so it's kind of hilarious at the tier where you just, all of a sudden, you just keep on spinning and you're reloaded again. You're just downing a bunch of people with torpedoes. It's absolutely a blast of a time. In my opinion, definitely would suggest it. Going up to tier 5, Königsberg. If the Kirov was still free, I would have suggested that, and that probably would have been a more controversial pick, but because we're just talking about free ships, Königsberg wins, yeah. Same thing like tier 6, immediately goes right to Nuremberg. That is just a fantastic ship for how, with how free it is and everything like that. Tier 7 goes back to the Eindracht. It's just a great, it's a baby DZP. What more do you want? One more. What more? I don't know what more you're asking for. Next up, tier 8, Cleveland. Just going right back to it. Cleveland has been one of my all-time favorites. I even put Halsey on it. It's hilarious on the press account when I finally tried it out full, because I don't have Halsey full out on my main account, but Cleveland is absolutely nuts. Putting Halsey on it makes it more nuts, even though putting Halsey on anything kind of makes it always nuts, that kind of crazy stuff. For tier 9, for light cruisers, you kind of actually have to go to Sejong or Neptune area. You could technically talk about Dmitry Donskoy. That's, of course, getting into the whole caliber argument of whether or not it's a light cruiser or heavy cruiser. I generally say the Donskoy plays more of a heavy cruiser round, where the Nevsky kind of can play both. But yeah, for that, Neptune or Sejong is absolutely a fantastic one. And then, once again, I already mentioned the overall tier 10s. Genon, Minnow, Worcester. They're just absolutely nuts. And hopefully I didn't miss any. Especially any that are as glaring as me missing the gearing last video, because that would have been bad. That would have been really bad. That, in my opinion, that was a massive miss, where the Yu Yang, I didn't really care. But yeah, so that's all the best free light cruisers. I'm working on the heavy cruisers right now, actually in this notebook as well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. What are your favorite light cruisers in World of Warships Blitz? Why do you play them? What gets you them? For me, I love the high risk, high reward factor of so many of them, and also bringing the support to your team. You're just capable of bringing so much to a game that sometimes, yeah, you get shut out, but other games, you are the reason you win, and that's just fantastic, and I really do enjoy that. So let me know all your thoughts down below on the items I pick. Let me know the items you pick down there. Hopefully y'all enjoying this series. I'll see you next week with the heavy cruiser edition of this one. But have a good one, everyone. Don't forget to like the video if you did. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification bell to see whenever a new video goes live. If you want to join any part of this community here, of course, the Linktree link is down below. Special shout out and thank you to the YouTube members, Super Chatters, and Patreon members for all the support, and also these new things. Aren't they cool? They really fit in really quite well. But okay, I'm gonna stop ranting and going. Have a good one. Peace.
Ship destroyed.